Hello, Serge here from the front tee at Old Sycamore Golf Club in Charlotte, North Carolina, which is our home base, where we have Mike Bartholomew, who unfortunately couldn't be with us today. But to my left here, I have somebody you're going to see an awful lot of from now on. And I should have been on that side so I could look taller. But with me here is Wayne Coolidge. He's our Director of Fitness, Health, and Nutrition for Swing Surgeon Golf. And Wayne is here today because we have a daily that we're going to talk about. And the question involves something to do with physiology and everything else. And Wayne, I brought Wayne in because he's the expert there as our Director of Fitness, Health, and Nutrition. And Wayne, give us a little bit of your background so the Surgites and the Surge Nation knows why did I give you the title of Director of Fitness, Health, and Nutrition.
Alrighty, well, I've been training athletes since 1983. I've been involved in training high-level world national champion athletes. I've worked in public health, and my expertise is performance nutrition and as well as training. So I hope to lend that help to the Surge Nation.
Well, what degrees do you have hanging on your wall?
Well, I have an undergraduate degree in health promotion and sciences from the University of Vermont. And I have a master's degree in kinesiology and health promotion from North Carolina, Charlotte.
Okay, so you got a master's in kinesiology, which is the study of the human body in motion. And in fact, Wayne and I just were involved in a study that I was part of the other day, and we're going to have some great facts coming out about that because I had him there because of his degree. So Wayne's trained athletes. He's helped me a little bit. He's done some stuff with DJ. In fact, he's gave DJ a complete program that he's working on, and he has his gym in his house that when he's home he works out there, and then naturally they got the trailers on tour. So here's the question that Wayne has to come up with an answer to. This came into customer service, and it came to me from David T. Springer, and David says, "Dear Don, I am 54 and began to follow your teachings a few years ago and dropped 7 to 8 strokes per round, parentheses from mid-90s to high 80s, and broke 80 twice. I am very thankful to you for improving my game and making my enjoyment of golf even greater than it was. I continue to follow your video instruction and appreciate your clear and principled teaching. My question, I recently developed right side weakness secondary to cervical disc disease. I have been going to physical therapy, but my strength on my right side remains weaker than my left. I am a righty and play right-handed golf. Parentheses, my father and brother are ambidextrous. End of parentheses. I have lost 40 yards or so on my drives and about 15 yards or more on my irons. To compensate, I have been playing from forward tees and using stronger irons, but I would love to get back to my old game. Does it make any sense to consider switching to left-handed golf? In other words, switching to being a left-hander and playing lefty. Would it be too difficult after playing right-handed for almost 40 years? I would really appreciate your thoughts on this matter. Thanks again for all that you have done to help my game. Regards, David T. Springer." First off, I'm going to say, and I had this feeling before I even talked to Wayne, and he confirmed it. I don't think changing from right-handed to left-handed is going to be. It's going to take too much because now your body's still out of balance, and Wayne's going to discuss all of that. So I think you're better off staying right-handed and see what advice he can give you to help build back your strength. So Wayne, let it rip. I'll hold it in case you want to make
wonderful.
hand gestures.
Exactly. Hey, number one, stay informed with your medical professionals. They've given you a physical therapy program. Follow their lead. Do everything that they say. You have to be concerned with compressive type movements. You can't have any compression on the neck of the spine because your issue having to do with spinal compression is putting pressure on spinal nerve roots that are coming through. Now, in terms of the spinal nerves that are coming through, the first nerve from the first cervical vertebrae, first three actually, have to deal with respiration, with breathing. Your diaphragm is controlled by that. Now, number 4, we start getting into the nerves that control the function of the shoulders, biceps, and some triceps. Down to the nerve root number 5, you start to get some of the shoulders taken care of, more biceps, and some of the forearms. So 4, 5, and 6 has to do with forearms, wrist strength, and hand strength. So it sounds to me, if it's in the cervical area, we need to really work on strengthening shoulders, arms, and forearms, and wrists, grip strength. Now, one thing we need to caution you right away about is that symmetry is absolutely important.
Define symmetry.
Well, symmetry, by symmetry I mean that all your antagonistic muscle groups are equally strong. Now, that's not going to be the case with you, David, so we're going to do our best to close the gap.
What do you mean by antagonistic?
Antagonistic muscle groups would be something like the chest muscles. If they are really strong, the back muscles are weak, you're going to have this posture like this, and that's going to be very, very unhealthy for your spine, but also your golf swing. Now, my point there is when you train the chest, train the back just as strong. His issue, David's issue, has a little bit more to do with what they call bilateral symmetry, meaning each side of the body. If your right side is weaker, then we need to make sure that we train your right side of your body optimally, as strong as we can get it, without excessively training the left side. You would much rather have those strengths get closer together than farther apart.
See, that's what I thought. When you said symmetrical, I was thinking more like right and left. I wasn't thinking back and front, but you started off back and front, but we're going back to right and left again too. Most
of the time symmetry refers to antagonistic, meaning opposites. Bicep, tricep. They are two different muscle groups. David's issue has more to do with different sides of the body.
Yes, right and left.
Right.
He's lost his right arm strength compared to his left arm. So you got to build it up, but he's still got to keep it both. Make sure that he doesn't get one, build that. I don't know if he ever could build that up stronger than his left now, but the key is he doesn't need to do as much with his left as very little.
Well, the problem is that a lot of times symmetry is key in that, as you mentioned your concept of drag. Can you tell that story you told me?
When I talk about right hand and the both hands on a golf club, and I've always said I want to keep them the same force, because I want to the same amount of grip pressure, equal strength, equal speed when I swing, because there's a lot of physics that says if two or more things, in other words the hands, are involved in swinging, are involved with a single thing, meaning the golf club, if they are not equal in everything that they do, pressure, speed, everything else, then if they're not equal, they're putting that system into a condition called drag, and in physics, drag's a negative effect. I guess the simplest term we could use is that if you, so to speak, had a car or a golf cart here right now, and either one of the tires on that cart, say the front left tire is not spinning at the same speed when it's moving as the right tire, the slow tire is going to, the cart's going to turn in the direction of the slow tire. Or driving up a hill, if you got your foot on the gas and your foot on the brake, you're going into drag, because whatever you're giving it with gas, you got braking, which is backing off, so to speak, that speed. So it's the same thing with the body. So like many of us, if we're right-handed, what we need to do in most cases, we got to build up the left arm to meet it. But because of what David's now had, the cervical problems is diminishing his right arm even less than his left arm. So he has to go just the opposite of what we did when we started to play golf. I had to build up my left arm and keep building up. Now I got to build up. He's got to build up what was his power arm, and build that one up, at least to try to get it as close to his now new power arm, which is left arm, correct?
Yes, and what I'll say is that with all athletes, I'd rather have two weak muscle groups or two weak sides than one strong side and one weak side. So our goal with David is for him to optimally build his right side as strong as he can, and then maintain it with the left side.
So we're talking about David now, but taking everybody, especially seniors now, and even youngsters, but all golfers, if you're a right-handed golfer and your right hand is naturally your lower arm, we want to build up the left side to try to get it as equal to the right. So, but we're working on them both, but we got to try to get the symmetry there, so that we got the equalness, so we won't have our body in drag.
Yeah, everybody has that issue. David's going to have a little more of a severe issue, and I'm not going to show you how to do that right now.
Depending on, now naturally everything he's doing, he needs to keep in touch with his PT or whatever physical fitness person he's dealing with, and keep him in track of what he's doing, and probably get their permission before they go.
Well, yeah, absolutely, and you probably have some therapy with decompression, kind of lifting up and getting the pressure off, because the issue is flexibility of the vertebrae in terms of how it compresses. It just does not have the flexibility to give it room. So stay in touch with the medical professionals, clear all your exercise. But let me show you a few tips.
Go ahead and show him a couple here, because we got the chair here. He's going to sit down, and we got some little barbells, dumbbells, whatever we're going to call them. How much weight we got here?
Well, these are 8 pounds. And remember, when you're trying to build strength and power, I want you to stick around 10 to 12 repetitions. That way you're building some endurance, but more strength. We don't want you to get overloaded with so much weight that you can't handle it. Now, the way that we train a weaker side, and even with like housewives that come in or other athletes, they always have a weaker, stronger side. So what I will do, for instance, if you're going to do work on the bicep muscle, and I'll kind of quarter to the camera, I want you to always start with your weak side. I'm left-handed. David's right side is affected, so I want him to stand here, get his posture correct. I almost tell surgeons to actually almost assume your setup position with a little spine angle, good athletic position. Start with your right side, curl up, full range of motion down, and then go to your left. This should be easier for you. My point is that pick a weight where you cannot do any more than 12, and once you can't do any more with this one, stop with the left side. That way the asymmetry or the difference in strength will get better over time.
Because you're working that one ultimately more than that one because you're doing more reps.
Absolutely. Now there's another one I want to show.
So where do you want David to possibly start at? 8 pounds?
Weight-wise, I would have to see him. I don't know if he's capable of 4 pounds, 10 pounds. It's one of those deals where start conservatively, start with like say a 5-pound weight. Well, the arms
even
you can do
I got
more.
one as low as 3 pounds.
Right.
So start with a 3 pounds. If you can knock off 10 to 12 with 3 pounds with no sweat, then he needs to move up.
Right. I don't know the extent of the innervation of the nerve, how much the strength is gone. But let me show Dave something absolutely specific to his shoulder strength. This is called a lateral raise, and again I'll quarter so that I don't get out of the camera angle. But the same position with your chest up in the air, sort of a setup position, and take 2 weights like this. It's almost like flapping your wings. So raise them like this. Breathe out. Now what you're seeing here, and I'm going to set this here, is when I raise this up, this deltoid is doing the work. Again, when you're doing both at the same time, the right side will probably give out. When it does, quit. I'm going to show you also a tricep exercise. This exercise is not very often done correctly, but I would like you to, I'm going to sit for this one. Excuse me a second. We work the bicep, which flexes the arm. Now we're going to work the extension muscles. I want you to sit in the chair, reach up overhead like this, bend back, just like that. Make sure you get fully down. People do this and it's only half a contraction. It's not good. So right there, again, do it with your right side first.
Turn a little bit more to the camera so they can.
Which way? This
way so they can see how close it's coming to your body.
Chest is up, my spine's all protected, straight up in the air. It's almost like I have a rope here. Stretch, contract.
So that's almost touching the back of your shoulder.
Really?
With the bar, with the bell.
It usually does. It usually will.
Oh, it does.
Yeah.
Okay, now he's going to be doing that more with the right arm, though, right?
You're doing the right arm first. And then duplicate. Very important. A couple more quick things.
So if he could only do 12 with the right arm, he's not going to go more than that with the left arm, even if he could.
Absolutely. When you do more than 12 with the right arm, go up the next weight.
Go up to the next weight.
Now, very important. I can also see that like I said, the 5th and 6th nerves they innervate the forearms and the wrists and the grip in the hands. So to build back, I'll do the right side, David. So it's more like what you need to do.
Because you're left-handed.
Exactly. Well, that's why I do it that way. Because
work that weak arm. Come on.
This weak little forearm right here is going to flex.
Ooh, I heard a big
and stretch.
There.
Yeah, I wasn't warmed up. And then the opposite way to do this is for the forearm extensors. Down and up, nice and controlled. No ballistics. That's going to work extension muscles. This works flexion muscles.
I can feel mine tightening up already.
And the last thing I want to mention is anytime you can get like some of the clay, probably physical therapy has some, the balls or some of those wrist grip strengtheners, use them. Crank all you can with your right side, repeat with the left side.
I got one in my car that was originally made for guys who play guitar.
Mm-hmm.
It fits in your part, and I just use it, and I squeeze those sometimes when I'm driving down the road.
Right. Well, everybody will benefit from strength training, whether you're already strong.
I probably shouldn't have said that. I do it when I'm driving down the road sometimes. That means I only got one hand on a wheel.
While you're texting and doing it at the same time.
No, I don't text when I drive.
I've driven many miles with Don. He
no texting when you drive.
Doesn't have a phone or anything like that.
Okay, Wayne. I think one of the things that we finally need to cover on this is what kind of frequency should this be done in terms of once a day, 3 times a day, every other day, or whatever?
Right. A lot of times you'll see physical therapy. They can do those sorts of things every day because they're trying to get back a functional ability. But for resistance training, and that goes for all resistance training, no more than 3 times a week because you need a day off for the muscles to recover. That's how they grow. So 3 times a week, non-consecutive days. And as for sets, I would go through initially maybe just do 1 set to failure. If you can only say do
Describe
the bicep
failure.
Well, the bicep curl, for instance. Like I said, I want you to fail around 10 to 12 reps. If you get this up the 12th time, you can't do any more, you're done without breaking your form. Remember, this is not good bicep form. Isolated bicep form. When you fail on the 12th repetition and do 12 over on this side, that is 1 set. At first, do 1 set 3 times a week on non-consecutive days, and as soon as you have no soreness, go ahead and try 2 consecutive sets. So it'll be this, and then this side over here, and then another set over here. It's a progression.
Is there any time of recovery in between sets?
Actually, if you're doing alternating sides, by the time by the time the left side is completed, this will already be recovered.
So if you're doing alternating sides, you can go right into it.
Yeah, and use your instincts too. I always tell my clients, if your instincts tell you you're not recovered, and David, this could be your case in case you have some impingements and you have some functional issues, you may need more recuperation time. You use your judgment on that.
Great. Okay, so the frequency and how to and the time and everything else and days in between is important. Because I know a couple things he does me. I do my push-ups with my knees on the ground. That's, what do you call that? It's not a regular push-up.
It's just I won't call it a ladies push-up, but
thanks. All right,
I try
do that,
not to say it.
And then I do the kettlebells, but you don't ever want, I do those each consecutive days,
right,
off days. So if I do push-ups today, I'll do the kettlebells tomorrow. He never wants me doing both of those in the same day, or 2 days in a row. So what we're talking here is how often you do it in a day and or every other day or whatever time frame, because that's important.
Well, you were doing it every day for a while. You were becoming functionally weaker, and I know you could do regular push-ups. Now I haven't been with you in a while doing that. So
I still haven't pushed the limit yet.
And what that does when you do it off your knees, and for anybody out there who wants to do it, they can do a complete
like a partial
push-up
or whatever.
It just takes the weight from your hip down out of the equation. You're just basically lifting from here up.
And I needed it because of the heart surgery and the things out.
That was the main reason back then, because it caused too much stretch and strain on him. He was strong enough, but we were just trying to protect the scar tissue in through here.
Yeah.
Anyway, so just as a quick review, medical personnel, keep them, tell them everything that you're going to do, ask them for their permission, don't do anything compressive, and you may want to even, maybe before you go play a round of golf, your physical therapy people may give you one of these little like pump things where you can sort of decompress and get some of the pressure off those vertebrae so those nerves aren't inflamed. Think of it like this. If you want to know what the effect is, if you have a hose and the water's flowing out, and you kink that hose or you step on it, say you put 50% pressure on it and half the hose is cut off, then the water
half comes out of the water.
The nerve does the same thing. That's why you get sensations. If a nerve root is pinched or something's cutting into it, then at that point the innervation, the muscles that it goes to, are going to suffer and lose strength. So work on strengthening the right side of your body, equally strengthen the left side, and also don't neglect your core and other muscles as well. If you get into it, you might as well do it all.
And right off the bat, you start getting any pain, time to stop, right? Because that's pain's in it, like Dr. Armstrong said, tension, stress, and strain is a prelude to pain, and when you reach pain, you've gone way too far.
Yeah, run this all by your medical people, PTs, MDs, all that sort of thing, but they're all going to agree, done safely, done well, you're going to benefit in the long run, and you will close that difference in size of strength, and your golf game will improve, and you should get some distance back.
So last but not least, this is not just for somebody who's injured, this is just for anybody who wants to get more fit. They can do all the same things here that'll get their upper body and their arms and everything else more fit.
Yeah, those exercises will all take care of the shoulder girdle and the arms, wrists, and hands. We have all kinds of things we'll be showing you later about the chest, back, legs, core, all that as well.
So we'll be bringing Wayne back for some more tips on doing other things that can help other parts of your body, whether you are injured or need to recover from an injury, and or you just want to get more fit, be stronger, be healthier, and so you can play better golf, shoot those lower scores, and feel good about your golf game. And that's because that's all we're after, is shooting those lower scores. Well, that's it from Wayne Coolidge, our fitness, health, and nutrition director in the Surge here, and from the Old Sycamore here on the front tee. We'll be talking to you all again soon.